The council chamber floated in the void of space, a grand assembly of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. Crystal walls shimmered with the light of distant stars, and the floor was a web of glowing pathways, guiding the delegates to their assigned positions. High above, a massive holographic projection displayed Earth, blue oceans, green continents, clouds swirling like delicate silk. The delegates had gathered because of a single, troubling report. Humanity had defied the expected course of history. A coalition of the galaxy's elite hunters had been dispatched to subdue Earth, a primitive planet deemed too chaotic, too dangerous to harbor intelligent life without oversight. And yet, they had failed spectacularly. A hush fell over the chamber as the human delegate approached the central platform. She was small, barely over 5 feet, with dark hair pulled into a simple braid and eyes that gleamed with an unusual light. Her presence alone unsettled the council. The humans had always been underestimated. You invaded Earth. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. Yet every word carried weight, echoing through the minds of every being in the room. The council's supreme delegate, a towering being with scales that shimmered like molten gold, stepped forward. We acted on intelligence, human. Your planet is not yet ready. Resistance is futile. We expected compliance. The human's lips curved into a faint, calm smile. You thought mercy was possible? Her eyes swept across the chamber. You thought you could demand submission from a species you didn't understand. A murmur of tension rippled through the council. Humans had never been part of their deliberations. Diplomacy was always subtle, calculated, precise, but this human radiated something entirely alien, unshakable resolve. The supreme delegate bristled. Explain yourself. Our forces faced minimal resistance. Your cities were unprepared. You were lucky that your species remains intact. The human's gaze didn't waver. Luck? No, you underestimate us. Every city you destroyed, every fleet you sent it, only made us stronger. Your calculations failed because you assumed we think like you, but we do not. She paused, letting the silence sink in. Then she spoke again, a whisper that carried through every translator, resonating in minds across the chamber. Mercy is no longer a human word. Gasps erupted. A few delegates staggered back. Some clenched their appendages in fear. They had always thought humanity fragile, weak, and predictable. But the weight behind that whisper suggested something far darker and far more terrifying, stammered the supreme delegate. Your species? How did you manage? You think the war was won in your fleets? The human interrupted. You think your weapons, your technology, your fleets make you strong? No, we are not bound by the same rules as you. We adapt, we endure, and when provoked, she let the word linger. We strike without mercy. The council's historians had predicted this moment, but only in theory. Humanity had never demonstrated such coordinated, efficient resistance. But the reports were clear. Earth's defenders had turned every attack into a trap. Alien ships that approached orbit were met with automated defenses beyond any technological understanding. Advanced viruses targeted alien neural systems, rendering ships inoperative. Communication satellites had been repurposed into weapons that could disable entire fleets. And worst of all, humans had learnt from every failed engagement. Improving exponentially with every passing hour, the humans stepped closer to the holographic Earth. Your council thought they could decide our fate. They thought that because we are young in galactic terms, we were naive, predictable, controllable. They were wrong. She raised her hand, and for a brief moment, the chamber felt almost suffocating. Every being present sensed the intensity of her will, a force so potent it pressed against the edges of reality itself. Your fleets have been broken. Your agents captured. Your spies extinct. And yet you call us primitive. You call us weak. No one spoke. The Council, a body that had ruled and mediated conflicts for millennia, was silent. They had never faced a species that so thoroughly shattered every assumption, every prediction. The human whispered again, softer this time, almost intimate. Do not mistake our restraint for weakness. Humanity does not forgive. Humanity does not forget. And humanity will not show mercy. The Supreme Delegate's scales flickered with uncertainty. You are bluffing. A faint smile curved the human's lips. Bluffing is a human word, too. We do not bluff. In that moment, the Council understood the magnitude of what had occurred. They had underestimated Earth. They had underestimated humanity. And they had witnessed the rise of a species that was no longer bound by fear, diplomacy, or tradition. Humanity had become something else entirely, a force that would be remembered, feared, and respected across the galaxy, for the first time in recorded history. The Council realized that they were not arbiters of power. They were witnesses to it, and that power was human. The human stepped back, letting her words hang in the cold, starlit chamber. The Council members exchanged silent glances. No delegate spoke. The weight of humanity's potential pressed down on them, heavier than any weapon or warship. Finally, the Supreme Delegate spoke, his voice low and trembling. What will you do next? The human's eyes glittered like distant stars. What humanity always does. We survive. We grow. And when necessary. She paused, letting the faintest shadow of a smile touch her lips. We remind the galaxy why mercy is no longer a human word. With that, she turned and walked away, her presence leaving an echo that would reverberate through the Council for centuries. Outside the chamber, Earth continued to spin, serene and unaware of the fear it now inspired across the stars. And in that moment, every being in the galaxy realized humanity had arrived, not as beggars for mercy, not as pawns of diplomacy, but as masters of their own destiny. The Council would never forget the whisper, and the universe would never forget humanity. Asterisk.